front-wheel drive. For decades, it's been dismissed, overlooked, relegated to budget cars and commuter sedans. But beneath the surface of fuel-efficient hatchbacks and city cars, a rebellion was brewing. This is the story of the machines that shattered the myth, that challenged physics, that made torque steer a badge of honor, and carved their names into the pavement of history, not despite being front-wheel drive, but because of it. These aren't just economy cars. They're icons. They're legends. They're the 7 greatest front-wheel drive cars of all time. 7. 2017 Honda Civic Type R, FK8. It was the car nobody saw coming, except the engineers in Japan who knew exactly what they were doing. The FK8 Civic Type R was more than a hot hatch. It was a declaration of war on every stereotype about front-wheel drive. 306 horsepower. A 6-speed manual that shifted like slicing through warm butter. And somehow, with all that aggression, it was still comfortable enough to drive to work. But this wasn't just about daily usability. This car tore up the Nürburgring with a lap time that humiliated cars far more expensive and far more prestigious. The world's loudest critics had to eat their words. It didn't just challenge expectations. It obliterated them. 6. 2001 Acura Integra Type R, DC2. Long before turbochargers became the norm, there was the DC2 Integra Type R, a high-revving, naturally aspirated, track-tuned scalpel disguised as a compact coupe. Honda didn't just build this car, they crafted it. Engine hand-assembled, chassis seam-welded, close-ratio gearbox designed for surgical precision, a limited-slip diff that turned corners into art, and an 8,400 RPM redline that delivered a soundtrack to match. It was loud, it was raw, it was light, and for those lucky enough to grip that red-stitched wheel, it was unforgettable. This was the car that proved you don't need power to go fast. You need soul. 5. 2009 Ford Focus RS Mk2. This one didn't whisper. It shouted, loudly, and with a thick British accent. The Mk2 Focus RS was chaos incarnate. A 2.5-liter, 5-cylinder turbo engine making 305 angry horses, all sent to the front wheels. It shouldn't have worked, but it did. The trick? Riva knuckle suspension geometry and a limited slip diff that worked overtime to keep the tires hooked. It wanted to pull the steering wheel from your hands in 3rd gear, and it was glorious. Green paint, massive arches, tailpipes that barked like a pit bull. This was a front driver with the attitude of a rally car, and the scars to prove it. 4. 1986 Lancia Delta HF Turbo. Before Lancia went all-wheel drive and dominated rally stages, they had the original Delta HF Turbo. Boxy, angry, turbocharged, and front-wheel drive. This was the blueprint. It didn't need FWD to make an impression. It needed a turbocharger, a tight chassis, and Italian blood. It was the spark that ignited Lancia's rally legacy. And on the road, it delivered that unmistakable blend of mechanical engagement and motorsport edge. It wasn't just a car. It was a warning shot to the rest of the world. One that said, we're coming, and we're bringing boost. 3. 2023 Hyundai Elantra N. From underdog to apex predator. Hyundai shocked the world with this one. The Elantra N isn't good for a Hyundai. It's great, full stop. 275 horsepower. Dual-stage exhaust with pops on command. Chassis tuning that puts some German rivals to shame. It's the kind of car that makes every drive an event. Every corner a playground. The gearbox wants to be worked. The throttle begs to be mashed. The differential fights to keep you pointed straight. And best of all, it's affordable. Performance for the people, loud, proud, and ready to devour a back road at dawn. 2. 2006 Mini Cooper S R53. Go-kart handling. Supercharger whine. British flair. The R53 Mini Cooper S wasn't built to dominate lap times. It was built to make you smile. Tiny wheelbase, razor-sharp steering, and a character you can't find in modern cars. This wasn't about numbers, it was about feel. Every shift, every turn, every time that supercharger screamed under pressure. Driving one wasn't just a trip from A to B, it was an experience. And that's why, almost 20 years later, it's still a cult classic. 1. 1997 Honda Prelude VTi-R, 5th generation. At the top of the mountain stands a coupe that never screamed for attention, but earned every ounce of respect. The 5th-gen Prelude wasn't the fastest, or the lightest, or the flashiest, but it was balanced, poised, timeless, 200 horsepower, VTC engagement that made your heart race. Four-wheel steering, real, mechanical, and years ahead of its time. And a design that still turns heads without trying. It was the kind of car that rewarded patience. That rewarded drivers. The kind of car you fall in love with not in one corner, but over 1,000 of them. Not just the greatest front-wheel drive car of its time. One of the greatest, period. They said front-wheel drive was a compromise. They said it was wrong-wheel drive. But these machines, they proved them wrong. Every single time. From high-revving screamers to turbocharged torque monsters. From surgical handling to daily usability, front-wheel drive was never the limitation. It was the canvas. Which one of these legends would you take for one perfect canyon run? Let us know down below. And remember, it's not always about which wheels are powered, it's about how you use them. And that's for today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Got thoughts, questions, or video ideas? Drop them down in the comments. I read every single one,